Sis, so I brought you to this table with my beautiful co-host, Pastor Noemi, because I wanted to affirm you because UIWI is all about developing urban leaders and specifically women like you who have been in the trenches, being a role model to young people, really leading strong in your community. So when I heard about this story, I was like, okay, let me go get my girl. Let me make sure she's okay. And let me go ahead and affirm that women, first of all, they can lead.
Yes.
And women can preach. And women can pastor. But I don't need to tell y'all why. But Pastor Noemi, take it away. What do you say about all this?
Well, I think first of all, I'd like to ask you, Kimy, like, at what age or when did you actually realize, like, this is a calling on my life? Like, I want to serve Jesus this way. Like, I want to lead others. I want to preach the gospel. When did this happen in your life?
I was 13.
Yeah, I was about the same age. I think I was like 12 or 13 when I had this realization, like, God is calling me to serve him and to be a preacher of the gospel, you know? That's amazing. Like, how did the people around you respond to that initially?
Without outing too many people. It was an interesting response because the church that I was at before I came to the church I'm at now was a pretty big church, and I would make mention of, hey, I really want to lead or I want to do this, and it was like, that's nice. But there wasn't really a lot of backing or a lot of support in those areas. There were, the few and the proud who kind of came alongside of me and said, we believe in you. But the two people who stick out to me are my family members, my brother-in-law and my sister, who really just said, we believe in you. And so we're going to get you the assessments. We're going to talk to you about the APEST. We're going to do all those things. But from an outside perspective, besides my family, there wasn't much support.
Wow. I'm asking this because, like, I grew up in a primarily Spanish-speaking church community here in LA. And when I came to realize God was calling me to ministry and that I would be somebody who would speak or preach the gospel in front of both male and female, I was super affirmed by the leadership of the church. And it wasn't until I got older that I started to connect with people outside of the Latino community that I realized this is an issue for people. And it was completely confusing to me because the Latino community in some ways may have they may be known for machismo or for, being patriarchal, but when it came to ministry, for some apparent reason, the church that I was in was all about females leading as well. And so that was a gift to my youth and to those early formative years of faith and leadership. But that's not the case
Right.
In a lot of churches. And I've learned that even more so now across the US and even around the world. But it's so important that we as leaders in this generation keep our eyes and ears open for these young people who are responding to God's call.
Yes.
And I do feel that in so many ways the church should be leading the conversation of equality in this space. I feel like in many ways we have followed the world's lead on so many things that the church should have led. And this is just one as well. Like, we ought to be celebrating the gifts of God and his daughters and the voice that he gives and the word that he brings to the body through women and through young girls as yourself, which you are a young woman, but you're just a baby girl and you're beautiful. But I'm so proud of the fact that there's a deep conviction in you about what you're called to do.